Superhero secret identities, one of the many staples of the genre. After some time being a hero, saving the people, stopping the bad guys, the typical superhero stuff. But along their journey they come across personal challenges. One of the biggest, if not the most personal dilemmas of a hero. Identity revealed. The moment in a hero's life when his secret identity is revealed to either the world, their hometown, or even to particular people. From their arch nemesis, to their best friends, to their love interests. Now to me, the identity reveal is a core element of the genre. Which I love, by the way, I love it. We watch episode to episode or movie to movie, building up the characters, the world, and how they deal with the clashings of two lives, from the superhero to the civilian, keeping them balanced while also keeping them separated. Now, I grew up with certain shows where the heroes always try to keep their secret identity a secret. Well, for my core memory is Spider-Man 1994, Batman Beyond, Justice League, Batman the Animated Series, Danny Phantom, and Spectacular Spider-Man. Just to name a few, each dealing with a scenario in their own scope. Like, for my prime examples, Spider-Man 1994 and Spectacular Spider-Man. Or just Spider-Man in general. Eddie Brock. Depending on your iteration, he was either a reporter for the Daily Bugle or he was an assistant for Dr. Connors in his research lab, who've had their own fair share of interactions with Spider-Man or Peter Parker. After dealing with a bad hand, Eddie bonds with a symbiote that had just been torn away from Peter Parker. When bonding with Eddie, he is fed everything that the symbiote knows, including Spider-Man's identity, giving that information to a hate-filled individual who despises the two, then realizing that they are one and the same, to then decide to become the
poison to both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. We are Venom.
Intervening not only on Spider-Man's radar, but also crashing in on Peter's daily life. Finding Peter's loved ones, subtly showing the knowledge given to them through the symbiote is being utilized to his advantage. In some iterations, he just shows up as a small message of a threat, only showing him presence, but some take it further and use some of Peter's loved ones as bait to get to Peter. But not only that, he can't rely on his trusty spider sense, which, well, he uses to sense his enemies. With that in the mix of his skills, he's got an upper hand against his foes to a certain degree, dodging any kind of surprise attacks. But with Venom, he is completely invisible to his spider sense, adding more to his sense of tension and threat level while being a personal threat to both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Having to look around every corner in case Eddie appears in civilian mode as he toys with Peter in the public with his loved ones, or as Venom as he goes for the ones he loves and cares about to get to Peter. This is the prime example of exposing a hero's identity, as the villains toy with the hero with that information, which is why heroes have to and need to keep their secret identities, well, a secret. For the action of revealing the hero's identity has dire consequences. But what if it was someone close, like a friend or a family member? Well, first one that comes to mind. In Danny Phantom, Danny Fenton fights ghosts throughout the town, with his best friends Tucker and Sam, who already know from the get-go about his powers. And they seem relatively okay with it. I mean, they seem pretty chill about it. In fact, they get involved in the action. So, it's clearly a positive here.
Hey, Danny, if you could control a girl for just about 2 minutes...
Whoa, Tucker, what the fuck? But they and Vlad Masters, for the most part of Season 1, are the only ones who really know about Danny's ghostly half. Well, that is until his older sister, Jazz, discovers his secret identity. In Episode 9 of Season 1, My Brother's Keeper, she witnesses his transformation, but keeps it to herself and waits for him to tell her himself. Meanwhile, covering for him across the rest of Season 1 and partially of Season 2 up to Ultimate Enemy Part 2. At the very end, we get to see the two understand one another and support each other. She saw the good that he was doing and continued to cover for him before they could finally talk about this. So that's from a friends and family point of view. But what about love interests? Well, for the most part, from the ones I've seen, they get shocked at first, like, oh my god! Which makes sense, because, wow, you're a superhero. What? How long have you been a superhero for, man? But they kind of get used to it, and then they just kind of try to get more involved. But as modern examples of late, we've had some interesting takes on the superhero identity reveal trope. My two examples are Amber from Invincible and Lois Lane from My Adventures with Superman. All over Twitter, or X I call it now. No, I'm not even gonna call it that. That sounds so stupid, it's so edgy, it's not even funny. People have been arguing over their reactions to finding out their friend or partner is a superhero, with some mixed results. Now, I just want to say that the identity reveal trope in general is supposed to spark drama from the heroes and their arch nemesis, like I said before, and shake up some dynamics of close friends, family, or couple, for the better or for worse. It's supposed to affect something along the way. In Invincible's case, Mark has been keeping his superhero identity on the down low. Well, for the most part. With only like a small handful of people knowing, which, okay, fair enough. Amber, for a time, was seemingly unaware of his double life, but got tired of Mark's in and out flaky attention with her. Missing dates, planned events with her, it's not really a good sign of a relationship. Typical superhero life balancing situations. To a point, she breaks up with him. Now, from what is to be assumed unawareness of a larger scope of Mark's life, you can see why Amber would be annoyed at Mark's timekeeping. She thinks he's toying with her, messing with her. So at this point, she's justified for her feelings with this back and forth. Are we a thing? Are we taking this seriously? Are you going to put your effort into this? You could see her point of view without her knowing the full scope. Mark, being a young lad, doesn't want to lose Amber to a complex situation of miscommunication. So, he decides to tell her his secret. They've been dating for a few months or so? Like 5 or 6 months? I can't recall. Someone correct me on that, please. A bit early to drop that on her, but this could possibly help her glue the pieces together as to why he's been so inconsistent. I'm sure she'll get it.
Ugh, I know you're a superhero.
You know? You know?
I'm not an idiot. I figured it out weeks ago.
She knew? When? How? I don't recall a moment in the show that she knew. Because normally when a character has secretly known something that the other characters thought they didn't, they'd show it in real time or in a flashback. Here, it just comes off cheap, like, oh, I knew the whole time. Like, you make it up on the spot. It's like, wait, you knew? Hang on a minute! You knew this whole time and you still gave Mark shit? Wow. Okay. Okay, bitch. It'd be one thing if Amber was riding Mark's ass about being on time and showing interest in her. Then, during the reveal, she starts to understand and gets off Mark's back a bit, while Mark tries to be there more. A perfect balance of compromise for the two to improve. The fact that she knew that Mark was out there fighting who knows what from anywhere, that he could die at any moment, enduring all the types of pain and torment throughout his life as a hero, she still has the gall to give him shit.
The secret identity!
Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Yeah, no, sorry, Amber. This is shitty. She had me at a certain point, but if she supposedly knew, then she should understand where Mark's coming from. Like, Mark also needs to balance out his time better. Yeah, he's not completely innocent. He still needs to put his effort in, but he does need to balance his life out a bit better. Here, Amber is like, oh, you didn't trust me with this. It's like, I'm trusting you now. It's like, you didn't have to, Mark. You've only dated for like 5 months. She doesn't need to know this yet. Like, maybe a year or two in, but not at this point. And if she acts like that, just go, Mark. Just leave her. Like, there's no point. The worst part is, Amber then tries to put it on herself. Like, oh, you didn't trust me. You think I'm stupid. You can trust me with this? It's like, bitch, I'm out there fighting aliens and stuff. What do you expect me to do? Hello, honey. Oh, what's that? The soup kitchen? Oh, hang on a second. Hey, guys, I know the world's ending and all, but I gotta go, okay? I gotta go and serve at a soup kitchen. Yeah, apparently that's more important than saving the world, I guess. Sorry, guys. Oh, and apparently, in the comics, Amber reacts totally different. Like, as in, oh my god, my boyfriend's a superhero. Holy shit. Like, taken away, like, ecstatic to hearing this. So, the one in the show seems to be only made for pointless drama. And I'm not a fan of that. I'm sorry, not a fan. There needs to be true, justified understanding from both perspectives. Otherwise, it just comes off as one-noted or very lazily forced. Like, they had me at one point until she said she always knew. You lost me. And my final example is from the currently running My Adventures with Superman, with an early years Clark Kent figuring things out while balancing his human life with the Superman life, with Lois Lane trying to get the latest scoop on Superman and expose his secrets. Well, naturally, hearing that, Clark tries to keep his secret identity, well, a secret from Lois. The struggle here is that Clark likes Lois, but she doesn't like Superman. She's trying to expose him, while Clark is trying to keep the two apart. But in episode 5, things change. After a battle, Superman is left scratched and there's no way to cover it up, while Lois is left on a rooftop. But when Clark finds her, she notices the scars.
I was so worried. You're hurt.
Oh, that's from shaving, but
Oh, come on, Clark, what do you shave with a battle axe? Lois starts putting the pieces together, with Clark clinging on to the idea of playing dumb. So Lois resorts to jumping off a building. What? With Clark having no choice but reveal he's Superman. Which, in hindsight, Lois, not the brightest move. What if he wasn't Superman? And I'm not saying he would, but What if he was willing to let you fall? You know what I mean? Like, that's one less problem. I'm just saying. There's a universe out there where that happens. Fresh splatter dumbass. Now, before anyone comments, yes, in the Reeves movies, Lois does the exact same thing. Well, I stand by saying that in general, that whole idea of jumping off a building to prove that someone's a superhero, is a stupid move. From any case, it is stupid and crazy. Hell, even in 1994's Spider-Man, Mary Jane does a similar thing, to a degree. Unless the person is insane or on the edge, no pun intended, there's no reason for this. Now, I know it's all for the sake of drama and emphasizing certain levels and stuff, but this is a bit too crazy. Of all the ways to prove someone's a superhero, this is your go-to? Anyway, Lois is pissed that Clark kept this from her.
I didn't lie to you, I just didn't tell you everything.
A secret is another type of lie!
What? Not really. Secrets aren't essentially lies. I mean, what about surprise birthday parties? I hate to throw a surprise party for Lois Lane. Happy birthday, Lois! How could you keep this secret from me? It was a surprise party. For you. Why didn't you tell me it was my birthday? Don't you know your own birthday? Sometimes I forget. Like, I get that Lois's trauma with her dad may be coming through here and how he lied to her as a kid. Also, it might be me, but this feels too early for this type of reveal. I feel like they should have had a full season of Clark trying to balance his two lives, and maybe early on, midway of season 2, we get the reveal. Yeah, I get it can get old a little bit, but you can get the point where it builds up, and then season 2, adding more confliction with Clark and Lois, Clark and Jimmy, and various other characters in Clark's life. It would have more weighted effect on the characters, and once Lois realizes who Superman is, not getting pissed, but remains distant, unsure of what version of Clark is really true and how to move forward with their relationship. Because she might not see Clark as Clark anymore, but as Superman, and she might perceive them two as different, like the Clark that she sees is merely an act, and the Superman is really him, or vice versa. It can be kind of conflicting. I don't know, it's something better than whatever this is. This whole argument just doesn't work, because Clark, again, had every right to keep this from her. She's a journalist. Red flag number 1. She hates Superman. Red flag number 2. And red flag number 3, waving proud, she's going to expose his secrets. Whether she would have after getting to know him is a chance he couldn't risk, for him and his family's sake. Also, jumping off a building to get a clarification was a very cherry on top of that shit-colored sundae.
You jumped off a roof! I don't know what to think!
Yeah, Clark was right to keep this from her. Every right. You're probably asking, well, when a hero's in a relationship, when should they tell them their secret? Best answer? Not less than a year. That's way too early, and if you disagree, well, I'm concerned how open you are, because you don't just date someone for a few weeks or months and then just spill everything about yourself to that person. Because the more people a hero has in their life, the more personal risk there is if their secret gets exposed. So the best way, if given the opportunity, give it a couple of years. But if in the circumstances of a great danger and pieces start to fall into place, it's all said and done, might as well come clean, I guess. Maybe, I don't know, it depends on the situation. With villains, that opens the door to some higher stake drama with greater risk. Like, I understand these moments were trying to provoke more drama into the story and the characters, but this just comes across as mean-spirited, unnecessary drama. Like, the heroes have every right to keep their secrets a secret. But as always, there's a right way and a wrong way. It's about execution. Like, I'm not opposed to, like, the shift in dynamics of certain relationships, like family, friends, and especially their enemies. A game changer to certain situations, but their executions just feels off. So if we're going to continue revitalizing the identity reveal trope in superhero shows, here are some key points. Justification. Understanding all points of views before and after the reveal. Reasonable understandings from all parties before putting the pieces together. Seeing how outside the hero's life, how it affects the connections around them. The struggles with having to keep their secret identities. The struggles with having to keep their secret and then revealing to them the missing clue to their weird patterns. Revelation. Once everything's revealed, what is the response? Does it change anything? If so, does it make sense and why? Engaging and coming to some understanding. Don't make it one-sided or shift all the blame on the hero. Balance is key. Yes, characters can convey how they feel, but there's a limit. Basically not the hero's friends ganging up on him for something he had to do. Like keeping their secret identity a secret.
It's a secret identity.
Resolution. How does everything continue? Has the dynamic changed? If so, how does it contrast from before, for better or for worse? It depends entirely on the situation and how long it lasts. I'm for sparking the drama with the secret identities, but this isn't it. It's almost like shaming the main hero unnecessarily for something they had every right to do. Like it's only their fault, no one else's. They shouldn't keep their superhero identities a secret. The hero's not totally innocent, but they aren't totally guilty either. There's a fine line. That's all I have to say. This was supposed to be a small video idea, but it just suddenly turned to a video essay about secret identities. What the fuck happened here? So, I'm curious, what's your take on the superhero identity trope? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think there's a fine line to how you do it? Or are you just not caring? Or do you feel the same way I do? I'd love to know in the comments down below. This has been Drew, those are my views, and I bid you adieu.